put the blood, sweat, and tears in. That's why I love working with SCORE, because we as small businesses can learn so much. And even though I am coming to you and been on the Google team for almost 8 years, understand that I am in the trenches every single day. So I'm not grown in a cubicle. I know what it's like to be able to handle everything that you're doing. Now you have to figure out how to be chief analyst as well as still serve your customer. So I do this every single day, and I like to be able to take that tech speak and make it into something practical, because none of us have additional time, right? All of us are time stressed, inboxes are stressed, everything's stressed. So we're going to be talking today about things that you can practically do and how you can manage that and measure that through analytics. Now, if you want a copy of today's slides, this is how you can get a copy right here. I also dropped it in the chat just a moment ago, but I'm going to drop it again for anybody that didn't see that come in the chat box. So you can use the QR code here, or you can tap on the link within the chat box, especially if you're on a mobile device. That'll help bring it up right away. And you do need to download those documents. So you see the handout there that has the demo account that you can play with. So you definitely want the handout as well as the actual slides that I'm using right now, because when you get the recording, you'll want to slow me down, speed me up, or repeat things, because I am going to be covering a lot of data today on and how you can access that. And what does this data points mean anyway? Because we're not here to learn Trivial Pursuit. We are here to learn how to make our business profitable and to make some decisions that help increase our visibility and that profit margin. So again, if you're just coming in, make sure you use the link that I'm dropping one more time there in the chat box as we go forward. Again, I do come to you with experience, so we're going to be talking today in a deep dive of analytics. I've been 17 plus years in international e-commerce, so I understand even how to read international e-commerce data and the tracking of data utilizing Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Google Search Console, as well as a host of other tools and third-party tools. I'm very familiar with those. And so you're not only getting what's in the slides here today, but my actual experience too. So please utilize that and feel free to ask questions, because I keep every session highly interactive and I customize it to the people here in the room. So we're going to get started today in talking about how you can make better business decisions with analytics. For anything Google, use the blue link at the very middle. And of course, if you want to connect with me, the first handle where you see the @ sign at the very bottom before the cityscape is @Maria Duron. That's me on X, or me at Marketing Coach Maria is me on Instagram, because I love to celebrate when people actually apply what they've learned, because the myth is that knowledge is powerful, and it is not. We don't need to win a pub quiz. We need to be able to win at business and become profitable and not make business decisions mistakes, especially when our analytics are telling us how things actually work. So I love to be able to share out people who are actually applying what they've learned, because a lot of people have great intentions in coming to a training and then they get busy, they get sidetracked, and so it could be a month, 2 months later, and those who actually take action, that's just a small 17 to 18%. I definitely want to connect you with my network and showcase you, because that's a rare thing. So we do know that data is something that people want more information on, but do you know what that data is telling you, or is it just interesting factoids for you? So today we're going to be talking about what you need to know and what would be neat, N-E-A-T, to know. So neat to know are those great factoids that would be just interesting. But what we need to know is the information that will help us be profitable, to be able to make some secure decisions, to know what's working for us, because we don't want to be tied up with the vanity metrics, let's say, of, oh my gosh, we got 100 new followers on Instagram. That's a vanity metric. Even by the social media standpoint, they don't even look at followers. They're looking at your engagement rate. And then also, what's your click-through rate? What's your conversion rate? They're looking more at things that are happening there, as is Google. And those are all signals to the algorithm of whether or not you're a viable business, and are you a business that Google is going to be able to find confidence in and trust in to showcase it to its customers, which are the people that come to search every single day. So we know that data does tell us a story. It tells you where your customers are coming from, or the visitors to your site. Now, you're going to hear me refer to them as customers, again, because I do have that strong e-commerce background, but I don't want you to think that that's who I work with. I work with local plumbers, a lot of local real estate agents, many local handyman, remodelers, painters. So I understand, as well as people in heating and air conditioning. So I understand also what it's like. And I also work within those depths of being able to understand local SEO. So when you need to make sure that, where did they come from? Is it from the 7970 zip code, or is it across town? Or maybe is it a town 10 miles away? How did they find you? While you might feel that Instagram brought them there, or TikTok, is that what the data is showing you? Or is it showing you that just because you use that platform a lot, but that's really not what your customers are using? What do they find most interesting, and what sparks that curiosity? So today we're going to do an introduction to Google Analytics. And I can tell you, this is the not sexy part. Everybody wants a silver bullet in marketing. And I will tell you what that silver bullet is. It's not sexy. It is consistent, persistent action. It is taking a look of how people navigate your website and how they consume information, and providing them the information that they need along their decision journey. So that's why it's so important for us to understand analytics, because it helps us to be experts in our customers. And that's on us. We need to know, where do they go first? What time do they spend here? What information do they need? What reviews do they need to read? What video? Who do they need to contact? Or maybe what do they need to see to be able to make those decisions? And that path is so different now, especially as we roll into 2025 with AI in place, artificial intelligence. We see people going from scroll to shop to social, and then also to search. So you see them go across all of those four, where it was a little bit more linear beforehand. Now it is really all over the place. So we're going to be talking about how you can find out where that's coming from. And I'm going to show you practically. So you'll know that I love to go out to live demos whenever I do a session, and I'm going to do that. And those of you in the room get to actually ask questions, which is why I love people being in the room, because you'll get the most benefit from being here. How you can understand your account, how you can utilize Google Analytics search box if you're not aware how to use that, and how you can use Google Analytics with Google Ads. And even though their ads is the paid portion of what Google provides, I'm going to talk about how you can really save money on ads and use some of the free tools within Google Ads to help you. Now, when you think of analytics, a lot of people get overwhelmed by that. And I can always tell, because people are even scared to come to a session about that and to ask questions because they don't want to feel stupid. But you know what? If you owned a store, a physical store, and you may, and you saw people all day long come in, or all morning long come in to aisle 1 and aisle 3, and then leave and didn't buy anything at all. Aisle 1, 3, 1, 3, and then just leave. Never check out. Never go to the check stand if you have something that has a check stand, or even to check out with you. And then in the afternoon, they go from aisle 1 to aisle 4 to aisle 3, and then they buy. Now you're going to have questions. Is there something on aisle 1 keeping them from making a purchase? Is there something on aisle 3 turning them away? Is there something on aisle 4 that actually is helping encouraging them to make a decision and feel more confident and trust in being able to do business with us? Or is it the afternoon people? It has nothing to do with what's in the aisles, as opposed to the people who are showing up there. So for a website, what that looks like is from page 1 to page 3, and then they leave to go to your competitors. Do you know that? Do you know what competitors they go to? Do you know that they've left? Do they go to social for your credibility? Or do they come back to your site and go search some competitors and then come back to see how you compare to that? All of that you can understand with your Google Analytics account. And it gives you that insight that you would visually be able to see in an actual brick and mortar store. You can also understand that account, as we said, and now we'll go into recap and resources as we finish up. So that's what I'll be covering today. And I'm going to first give you an intro to Google Analytics. Let me know in the chat box if you use Google Analytics. I'd love to hear how you utilize it. In this instance, we're going to use a case study with Eva and Ricky, and we're going to follow them along their journey. So I can do a live demo for you so you can see more than just slides, but you can see it actually on a live Google Analytics platform. Heather, I love that you're trying to. So today is going to be really helpful to you. Let me know a little bit more about your business, because I definitely want to customize some of the data that I'm looking for to showcase and help you find that data in your analytics. So in Eva and Ricky's situation, they had face-to-face customers, so they had a brick and mortar, but they didn't understand why popular local items weren't selling online. They understood their local market, and they started started using Google Analytics to get that better understanding of who is actually consuming and using the information on their site. Now, important to any analytics or any kind of measurement is to have SMART goals. What are SMART goals? They are specific. So it's not just, I want more people to visit my website. One person that visits your website in the next 99 years is more. So you have to be more specific than that. And I do see Heather said, I'm a realtor specialized in downsizing. Oh, I'm going to show you some things as a real estate agent of where you can see and what you can see. All right. So I love that. I love that you're a realtor, Heather. I'm going to cover that. Yes. So I'll do a live demo with that as well. So thank you. I'm so glad you shared that, Heather, and I'm glad you're here. It also has to be measurable. I want them to like me. Well, okay, what does liking you mean? What does that look like? Are they spending more time on your site? Are they signing up for your loyalty program? Are they signing up for your email? And so they're showing that they have trust in your information. How is it that you're measuring this? So it needs to be measurable. Is it attainable? Well, only you know that. If you made $1,000 last month and all of a sudden you said your goal is to make $100,000, then my question always is, what's the difference between last month's and this month that is going to make the difference between that's going to increase the amount you make to from 900 from 1,000 to 100,000. So what's making up that $999,999 difference, right? Or 9,000, yeah, dollar difference. Exactly what's making that difference, right? So is it relevant to you? I want 100 people to like me on Facebook or to like me on Instagram and follow me. Well, it's relevant if, for example, your strategy is, social land is rented, you don't know what you would do. If it was Armageddon and you couldn't get on Meta, you couldn't get on TikTok, you couldn't get on any of your socials, how would you connect with those people again? If for any reason you were unpublished for the average 21 to 28 days, that when a social media platform decides to unpublish you, all of a sudden, even if it's a mistake, it takes that long to resurrect it. So how are you going to stay connected with people? Is it relevant then that having 100 followers means that you're going to get 20 of them to come to your website? Of the 20 that come to your website, 10 actually share their email address. And because they share their email address, now you have a way to connect with them. So that's valuable and gold. And from 100 likes or 100 followers, you will get 10 email addresses. Now it's relevant because email addresses are a strong connection to your customers. And is it time bound? Like I said before, you can get 1 penny in 99 years, but maybe it's you want to make more money, like 10% increase in the next month or the next quarter. So with Eva and Ricky, you see that they wanted to see a 10% increase in visitors from 3 target cities. They were very specific on what they wanted to focus on because that's where all their social and their advertising was. And they watched all of this in analytics. So for you, what's your goal? What's your website goals and what are you actually measuring? And how are you deeming that your site and what your site is doing or the post that you did is successful? Is it because it increased sales, increased leads, they're filling out information, they're calling, they're downloading a PDF and sharing some of their personal information, like maybe their email address, or they're actually coming into your site? Or are they watching a video? What are they doing? And what is it that you are doing as far as on your site to measure that there is success in what they're doing? So you know that they need that information to be able to make decisions. If they watch that video all the way through, then more often than not, 80% of them will fill out the contact form or will pick up the phone and call you. Do you know that, or are you tracking that? One of the ways to track it, of course, is this free tool, Google Analytics. And understand, you have access to this all through your personal Gmail account. You don't need the paid workspace account. This is through a free personal Gmail account. You already have access to Google Analytics. And when you're in Google Analytics, just like I was mentioning, you will have a chance to understand what information really connects with your customers. What do they like? What do they dislike? And what do they need? What are they missing? What do they go off-site looking for? So they can make better business decisions and feel comfortable in the interaction with you. But also, how can you know that better so you'll know and see what the trends are or what they're telling you and voting with their share of attention matters most to them. So when we're using analytics, it helps us understand content, and then we know what they're actually spending time on. Did they finish the video? Or did they read that blog post? Or did they only watch 3 seconds of the video, which really means nothing, that they have no interest in that compared to 10 seconds? Or they finish the video. So they really like the video content that you're putting out. It also helps you evaluate channels. You may love TikTok, but your customers or the clients that would be best for you actually love Pinterest. And you may not love Pinterest. I'm not a fan of it only because it's a huge time suck for me. I get so distracted by it. It's just the same reason I don't have TikTok on my phone. I have a TikTok account, but I don't have it on my phone because it's too much of a distraction. But I know what people use, especially when they are wanting additional information or learning training. And those are my best clients, or people that I'm working with that are clients of businesses that I am helping them understand what information and in what way those people love to see that information to be able to be helpful to them. So when you go to analytics for the first time, this is where you need to go. If you're logged into that free personal Gmail or Google account, you're good to go. You don't have to have a Gmail account. I'm just letting you know because people more often than not have a Gmail account, and this makes it easier because you already have access to that. Now you can get started because when you go into analytics, when you go to that website there at the very top bullet point, then you can go into sign into analytics. It'll remember your credentials, and now you can go into your account. Now, when you're in the home area of your account, and I'm going to go through this a little bit, and then I'm going to go out to a live demo. So you can see all the navigation for a Google Analytics account happens on the left side. That's where you can navigate. And when you hover over the left side, right now you see the icons there to the left of each: home, reports, and explore. But if you hover over it, it expands out and you'll actually see the text of that. Now you can go to the reports and start looking at the information that you actually need. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to, let's see. One of these is app and web data, and one is a store. That's the store. I'm going to do a demo. I'm just increasing it, and I'm switching screens. So hold on just a moment. All right. So this is the Google Analytics demo account. And how you can get here is when you get the handouts, just so you know. So if you don't want to play in your account doesn't have any information even yet, what you're going to do when you get the handout is the handout looks like this. I'm going to make that bigger. So it starts here. That's the top of the handout. And again, if you need a copy of it, just use the link that I'm dropping in the chat box and download that. So make sure you download that. But if you go to page 2 of the handout, you will see that there's a demo account. And in this demo account, you can just click on here, or you can just hover and paste. But what you can do, so you can copy and paste, what you can do is you can actually play in a fully fledged Google Analytics account so you can see what the numbers look like to give you an idea. Because sometimes when you're connecting a Google Analytics account for the first time, there's no number, so you don't know if you've done it correctly or not. I understand that. So remember what I said when I started. All the navigation happens on the left side, and you're going to see those icons first. And notice what happens when I hover over the icons, how that left margin opens up, and now you can see a little bit more. Okay, same thing here in this one. And I believe this is the one that is more web focused. This one is more e-commerce focused. So let's go into this one, and you'll see it here. This is the page that when you click on this, I'm going to bring this up again just because I've navigated away from it. When you go to the demo account, the first page it's going to take you to is a page that looks like this. And you can see here that you can go into a Google Analytics for property. Make this bigger because I'm broadcasting and that's super tiny. But you can see you can select either a merchandise store, so that's more from an e-commerce standpoint, or you can go towards app and web data because it does track app data if you happen to have an app. So let's take a look. Now, the first thing you'll see me do is hover over here to the left and go to reports. When we go to reports, you are dropped into a report snapshot. Sorry, tried to say that too fast. Sorry about that. I didn't want to cough in your ear. But you can see here In the report snapshot, it's giving us an overview of what's happening on your site. You can see the date right here. So up here at the top right-hand corner, under my picture, which is maybe you may have a picture there, it might be just your initial, depending on how you set up your Google account. Then you'll see you can go for the last 28 days, or you could drop down and even choose today, yesterday, last week. You can even customize it, and you can even compare different times. But in this instance, I'm going to go with what's set up, which looks like almost a 28-day period. And you can see the report snapshot. It's showing you how much revenue you've made and the purchase revenue. So this must be the store. Let me go over here again to there. Here we go. So this is if you're looking, for example, for a real estate agent or realtor. So you're looking at the snapshot, and you're seeing how many people over the course of the last 28 days have visited the site. How many are new users? So active users are people who are pretty active in searching online. New users mean people who have come to your site for any time to visit your site. That's a new user. When they come back, they're no longer a new user, they're a returning user. But understand, on average, we're using about 5 different devices when we go to a site. So you might have somebody who came to you on their laptop, but now they're on their mobile. So they may be deemed as a new user, but it's a different device unless their devices are connected by either an Apple account or a Google account. Once that happens, then it knows that they've come back, so they're seen as a returning visitor. All right, now you can see the average engagement time people spend on your site. So in this instance, it's 1 minute and 27 seconds. The more time people spend on your site, the more value you're providing to them, because they're interested in the information and they're consuming the information. So understand, for Amazon, on average, it's 17 minutes somebody spends on Amazon. And I think they do more, because I know I spend more time on Amazon, but on average, 17 minutes. So the more time, that lets you know they're voting with their actual time and their attention, and they're showing you what matters to them and where they're spending time. You can see that there's currently 85 users in the last 30 minutes. You can go down here to see any recommendations that Google AI, so that's analytics intelligence, is providing you and recommending to you that you need to do to make and improve the health of your actual account. You can see where the new users came from. All right, let's talk about this for a minute. So what does direct mean? Direct means that they came to you because they put in your website. If your website is ABC Company, they actually typed that in. They said, hey Google, hey Alexa, hey Perplexity, take me to abccompany.com. So they went directly to your site. Now, what that tells us is that you have brand awareness and name recognition, and that's important. Why? Because if you're spending a lot of money trying to get your brand aware, in this instance, I would say, you know what? You've got some good brand awareness already happening. Maybe you need to work on building credibility and working them down that funnel. So awareness is the top of the funnel. If you look at funnel marketing, awareness is first, because if people don't know you exist, they can't do business with you. But then after that, you have to have consideration, which is what happens there. And that is, are you credible? Do they trust you enough to even consider you as a provider or supplier to them? So that's direct, lets you know you've got good brand recognition, brand name recognition. Organic search, what that means is, let's say you're Heather and you run ABC Real Estate, okay? Or ABC Realtor, right? And they found you ABC Realtor Direct. I would tell Heather, you know what, Heather? They know your name. Organic search means they're looking for a real estate agent in, let's say Heather's in Dallas, real estate agent in Dallas. So they're looking for somebody in that industry, but not specifically for Heather. So they're organically searching for somebody, but it's a toss up on who's actually going to get that business. Paid search sounds just like that. Paid search. It's a paid search ad. So Google ads, or it could be Bing ads as well, because Bing has a search engine as well as Yahoo. Unassigned is usually an iPhone, because the iPhones have the ability to turn off some of that visibility and data collection. selection. So it could be unassigned referral, just like it sounds. Somebody put you on their website, or maybe you were at a Chamber of Commerce grand opening or ribbon cutting, Heather, and they put your name there as an ambassador or as a member attending, and they link to your website. So now you're a referral because they came from the chamber, clicked on a link there about you and came to you, or maybe you're a member and you have that listed there. Organic social, that is meaning that they searched on social for a real estate agent in Dallas, Texas, well, following that same scenario, but they looked on socials. Or cross network means that it could, that again is a different kind of Google ad that could be showing up from different cross networks, because Google has over 3,000 different properties and surfaces. So that's one way to look and read this. I like to pay attention to the top 3 or 5 that are truly moving the needle, because the rest, while they're interesting, we want to do things that are going to help grow our business and increase the chances of achieving our goals. Now, you can also see what those session mediums came from, the countries that they came from as well, the activity over time, over the course of time. And you can even see, what kind of activity you see by certain dates, where they're spending time at. Okay, and the event count by event name. So are they watching, they're looking at a page, are they watching or reading a item list that you have? Are they looking at a promotion that's going on? Okay, now let's take a deeper dive into this, okay, because this is the overview. This just gives you the 30,000-foot view. But now we're going to go into a real-time overview. What does that mean? That means right now, what is happening on the site right now. So you can see this here. You can even see this on this other site too. You can see actively what's happening on the website. Why would you want to do this? Well, let's say you just released a newsletter, or you did this great post, or you just knew that this dance on Instagram was going to bring everybody to your site. So you posted it on Instagram. Well, then I would want to know that, are they coming to my site? So I would look at it and see, or maybe you did a press release, and you can see that. A lot of times I'll watch press releases as they release by time zone. You can see it start sweeping across the world here. All right, so you can see all of that happening. You can see where the majority of people are coming from, and as you hover over, it tells you. Number 1, there's a lot of people in New York, 6 people from New York coming in here, and they're on the site actively right now. We've got 2 people from Toronto, we've got 3 from Chicago, and we've got 2 in Austin, and 1 here in Boca Raton. So we can actually see that in real time, what's happening on our site, what kind of action that we're getting, and where they're coming from. We also have a chance to see a little bit more about who is coming to our site. Have they purchased from us before? So let me see. In here, it could be extra step user. So this is because this actually has an app going with it, that has I guess it's called Level Beaters. So it's an app. It's like a gameplay app that they're using for information, helping to teach gamers how to be able to level up, different kinds of ways to lead guilds. And so they're using their app, and they want to know if their app is bringing people to their website, and are people going to the site. So what's actually happening in that relationship? Hopefully it's a synergistic relationship between the app and the actual site. So see, you can take a look at that and see what's happening. You can also see, what are they looking at? What pages of your website interest them the most? Now this gives you a chance not to just go from your gut feeling, because your gut may have gotten you here, but what got you here is not going to get you to the next level, because now you have experiential knowledge. So you may be doing your business because you were in a space before that people needed your product, service, or solution. Now that you've created that solution for them, or that product or that service, you have a different experience, and you're not going to search in the same way that somebody brand new is to it. And you might remember how you did it, but also we have a tendency to forget that because we fill up with new information and new experiences. So this gives you a chance to see a little bit more. Does KV Core, I'm not sure what KV Core is, so I don't know. So if you're searching for your agent, yes, you'll be able to see this. In fact, a lot of times with agents, I'm trying to think if I've got something to show you with agents. You can see a lot of information that can actually be put into a dashboard. Let me think on that a moment, Heather, because I might have a demo to show you with an agent, with agents specifically. So yes, you can see how it works. Um, so also, and I'm going to come back to that. So don't think I forgot about you. K is a CRM, a lot of agents use. Yes, and you want to be able to track what people are doing on an actual website and who they're looking at. So for example, I'm going to show you, this is not agents, but this is coaches. Let me hold on just a second. I'm going to take you there. Um, So this is a website. No, I'm not logged into that website. I can't show you that just yet. Give me a moment. I'm going to have some time to do that. So let me see. I might be able to still pull up something better for you because I want you to see it, Heather. So give me just a moment while you look and see what's happening real time. I'm going to need to be able to get into Access here. Okay. See if I can show you. Taking a little bit to load some things. Okay, I'm not sure. It's to verify me. I understand. It's not easy to see all of this. Yeah, it may not. I'll need to do a screenshot for you, Heather, because I can actually show you what it looks like, but um, yeah, I don't think I'm going to get it to come up fast enough just because logging in takes some time. But it's a great question because I want to show you that because you can look by different agents. But yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to. I'll have to do a video for you. So feel free to reply to the email that you get from me with the recording so that I can show you that video. So you can see how it actually breaks down by, because you can look by agent and I can actually see what pages they look for each agent, where they spend time, what information, where they've left their information, or filled out a contact form. You can see all of that. And I love that because it's easy to find that within Google Analytics, but I actually like to put it in a dashboard, especially for real estate agents and insurance agents, which often have an office with many people, and you need to know exactly where they're coming from and what they're looking at. Are they spending time looking at the reviews? Did they go to your socials? So you'll have an idea to take a look at that. It's a great question, all of those questions. Thank you, Heather, for understanding. All right, so then you can also see in real time what pages that they're looking at, where they're spending time at. The same thing here. You can see with those real-time pages, they're here looking at the game board, they're looking at the menu activity, they're looking at all these different things. And again, we're looking in real time. So unlike the report snapshot, which we can choose the dates and we can customize those any way we want, real time is just like what it sounds like. In the last 30 minutes, this is what's happening on the site. So it's real time inactive. It's holding the information for the last 30 minutes plus the information that's happening now. You can also see where people came from. So I love looking at the acquisition report. It's one of my favorite reports to look at because you can look here and see where people come from. And you can see that they're coming in this instance through paid search, through cross network, which is another form of paid search or paid Google ads, and then also directly. So they know the name of this organization and they're actually putting the name of the organization in. Now, I can even get more granular if I wanted to and really take a deep dive and look here to see they're coming from CPC, cost per click, organic, and referral. And I want to know where they're coming from. So now I can take a look here and see they're coming from, let's give me more rows than that per page so I can look at it. They're coming from Bing. They're coming from Google. So my Google ads are working. Bing is good too, because a lot of people don't remove um, Microsoft, and they don't remove it from a laptop when they get it. So they're utilizing what's already installed in their actual device. But I also see they're using, so this is what they're getting, a lot of Google organic. So a lot of Google organic, a lot of Google ads, and they had an invite a friend email campaign. So I do see that in place. Here, what that looks like here, it might look like acquisition, overview, and I want to know where the users are coming from. So I can look here and I can filter by traffic source, where it's actually coming from. And I can see here that it's coming from, there's a referral. So this Art Analytics App Spot, I would want to make sure I'm friends with them if I don't know already who they are, because they're referring business my way. It's also an email that's coming in too. And I see they're searching through Yahoo, and there's some Facebook, and they're coming in. M means mobile Facebook. So I see that they're using mobile Facebook. So I do see who are the top 10, and I want to make sure that I stay within good graces with the top 10 and find out who those referral sources are if I don't know, and know that, yeah, Google organic is actually working really well for it. So I would want to put some Google ads, and I'm seeing some Google paid ads here as I toggle on down, actually do some good work from here. Just like right here, you see there's somebody else also referring with a paid ad search. So that's good. It's good to see that. So this is how you can make some decisions as you're looking around from where people are coming from. You can look at the reports and you can actually see where they're coming from. You can see how engaged they are in your website, which I encourage you to do, because bounce rate is no more. People used to say that's how you measure if people are interested, and no longer is that the case. People actually bounce from their mobile phone to their tablet to their desktop to their laptop to their smart TV, and they're still interested, but they have a different device. So it's more important for us to look at engaged sessions than anything else. Okay, so that is how you can read some of that of what's actually happening within your Google Analytics account. And you can filter just like you saw me do. And I know I did that quickly. I'm actually going to spend more time tomorrow when I talk about metrics that matter in our webinar Wednesday session. But I go into talking about how you can utilize filters like you saw me do, where I filtered by who's the medium. Medium meaning, is it Facebook, TikTok, ads, Bing ads, Pinterest, where's it coming from? And then the session, so I want to know the medium and the session. So it's a new user who came in, and I want to know what actual socials are they using to get there, so I can spend time there, not just what I think where I should be spending by my gut feel. I want to look at the data and have that confirmation, because as you hear everybody say, numbers don't lie, right? You know exactly where those numbers come from. Now you can also compare there in real time. I showed you this, so you do have this in the slide deck, but I did a live demo for you. I did a live demo to show you acquisition and what all those different terms mean too, because sometimes you may not understand or know what they are and what they mean to you, so you can make that better business decision. Also, looking at your engagement rate, that's more important, because we are utilizing so many different devices to find information, because let's face it, in 2020 we made a huge shift. We don't only do huge shift. We don't only go online, we live online. Now you can also look at monetization to see how people are buying. So if you have an e-commerce site, you can actually see who abandoned a cart or abandoned checkout, and both those behaviors are two different things that they're having issues with, and that they need information to help them feel first of all that they made a good decision, but also feel like they can trust your site with payment information. And then of course, how many returning customers do you have? How many people come to your website and return to your website? How many are new users? Let's say, for example, Heather, if let's say a lot of people are transferring into your area, and it happens to be, there's a company relocating from Kentucky, come to your location, and you see, wow, there's just, if I look at the real-time report, I can see that there's about 150 visitors from Kentucky, and they're trying to decide which agent would work best with them. That can also help you make decisions on your actual content. So maybe you start talking about, are you coming in from Kentucky, and do you have these questions? Maybe this is how school districts are handled in Kentucky. This is how we do it over here, or these are the questions to ask over here. Maybe we don't have a different, board or like, with Texas, it's the Texas Real Estate Commission. Maybe it has a different name in different places and different rules and different standards that you can be the educator of them, because if you can help them make decisions and avoid pitfalls and they see you as an expert, that's how you can stand out head and shoulders above anybody else in real estate. Because while they can all basically do the same thing, why would they do business with you? If you can answer that, what makes you so unique? Maybe you're a mom who's been dealing with a school district and you've been involved as a volunteer, or maybe you were an educator or a teacher yourself or a counselor, or maybe you served on the school board. So you know this very well and you can give that expertise, which makes you no longer a commodity, but something that's very unique. Because you see, when we're a commodity, all we can do at that point is compete on price, and it's whoever answers the phone first when it's a commodity that earns the business. So now you can also take a look and see what your audience is using. Are they using more mobile? Are they Android people or Apple people? So, iPhone people. That's two different people there on how they consume information. And it's important for you to know that, so you can deliver things in ways that make them feel comfortable and are where they're at, but yet feel like you are an expert at what you do. Now, what's nice is while I showed you how to filter, you don't have to learn how to filter, because what you can use is Google's search box. So we call this the analytics intelligence box. And what does that look like in Google Analytics? Well, you can use it right here. It looks like Google search, right? You've seen this before with the magnifying glass right there, and you can start typing it in, and now you can start searching for instant answers. So now, for example, if it meant something for you to actually see the bounce rate, you can go over here. Let me do that live demo and bounce rate. And you'll actually see it tells you what the bounce rate is from this date to this date. So it's only pulling from the start of the month, but it also gives you other things that you can read about and learn in analytics if that matters to you. But it may not. You've got to take care of business. You've got customers calling. You've got to show a house. So you just need to go in here and look at this information real quick. This is where you search it. And analytics intelligence, which is Google's AI in the background there, actually helping you, can now search that for you, so you don't have to worry about how to filter that. Okay. And you can learn more about it by going to the URL at that bottom left-hand corner. Now, also custom insights via analytics intelligence. What's nice is you can set up alerts to let you know, okay, somebody came in from Kentucky. I want to know that because we have a flood of people coming to Kentucky to our area. So I want a custom alert about that. Or maybe they're from Kentucky, but they're coming in through Facebook. They were interested in a Facebook post that I put. I'd want to know that too, because the way people consume information on Facebook, they're much more conversational, and they want a little bit more credibility too, because they want to see reviews. So I know some of the behaviors that drive somebody who utilizes Facebook as their main platform. You would want to make sure that you are aware of that too. You can create those custom alerts, and you can see those alerts in your account or have them emailed to you, because you may not log into Google Analytics all the time. And then, of course, that last item, as you hover over there in the left margin before you go into any setup or Q&A, is actually exploration. So you might just want to explore, what does it look like when somebody comes in from an ad? What are they doing when they come in from a Facebook ad compared to an Instagram ad? So you might want to know that, just to see how your ads are performing and which ads actually keep people returning and or bring new people to you. And maybe you're targeting a specific area. Maybe you have an ad that's just running in Kentucky because that's what people are looking for. Just like in our case study, Eva and Ricky, remember we were talking about them? They put their SMART goals together. They had the 3 cities they were focused on, but they found out they do not like the information the same way. So they're totally different. And they decided to keep 2 of the cities. They saw 2 of the cities as being profitable for them. And that's how they were able to make some better business decisions and not waste their time, energy, and money in that 3rd city that wasn't profitable for them. Now, what you can also do, and this is something that is one of the hardest things I teach, and the reason it's so hard is because the minute they see Google ads, is people put up a wall right away. And I will always always tell people when they reach out to me, because they often do, is reaching out for, Maria, can you handle Google Ads for us? And I tell them, if you don't connect all your Google tools, and if your Google tools are not all learning from each other, because of course Google trusts its own tools. So if you've got Google Business Profile, Google Merchant Center, Google Analytics, YouTube, which is a Google product, and then now you have Google Ads, they can all learn from each other, and the search engine starts trusting you. What happens in that case then is that your ad cost per click lowers because there's trust. When there is trust, understand that Google does charge you less. When you're unknown and they don't know if you're some foreign country fishing for information or some fly-by-night scammy company, then they're going to charge you at the highest. Or you could be a viable company, but if you don't have all your Google tools connected, then what happens is Google is learning on your dime and you're paying for that. And I would much rather take advantage of free, which is connecting all your Google tools, and let the Google tools teach each other and teach ads so you get the lowest price cost per click, because that's how you pay for ads, is by any time somebody clicks on it. And it could be the difference between $15 to $30 a click to 15 cents to 35 cents a click. Okay, so understanding exactly that and letting Google tools teach other Google tools, I'm all about. So how you can do that is when you are in your Google account and you hover on that left-hand side, go all the way to that bottom left-hand corner that looks like a gear icon, and now you're going to link Google Ads there. So what that looks like, let me see so I can show that to you, is in the live demo. Again, hover over that left side, you're going to go to that gear. When you're in the gear, then what's going to come up is how you can connect different products, who can have access, so account access management, and you'll see this come up. So now you can go to Google Ad Links and you can start connecting Google Ads. And in this instance, it's already connected. But if you're connecting it for the first time, you would actually see a plus sign here to link that, to add a connection. Okay. So that's how you can save a lot of time, energy, and money, is by letting Google tools teach each other. And that will save you so much. So where do you go from here? Because analytics is a lot. First is to set up your analytics, right? You've got to have that connected, because analytics doesn't start tracking the data of the actions that happen on your website until you connect it. So it's not going to be looking from the first time you set up your site or go back into the history of your site. You have to connect it, and that's day one of your data. You can also set goals and test marketing strategies. So we talked about the importance of SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Set those goals and now start testing and seeing what it actually is that needs to happen, or measure the items that see whether or not those goals are actually coming to fruition. Learn what's most valuable to your business from either the information that you have on your site or your socials that you use. And now you can start measuring those results, because if you're not measuring, you're not marketing. $1 or 1 minute spent that's not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goal is $1 or 1 minute spent too much. And we don't have that time to be able to spend and to waste. In fact, we are so time stressed, we need to make sure that we get more value from it. So for today, making sure that you got value from this last 52 minutes that we've been spending together. It could either be a great expense, it could be a great edutainment, so you found it interesting, or you can take the information and take action on it. If you did not get the slides in the handout, I'm going to drop those there, because you do need that handout to be able to get to the demo account, and you want to play on that demo account. But I'd love to connect with you on socials, especially if you're taking action, because I love to celebrate those who actually take action. And so think about what you can do now to start applying what you've learned, so it's not an expense in your business, but an investment that helps you become more visible and make those better business decisions. Now, you do see the SCORE logo up there because I want you to connect with SCORE. It's so important that you do, because they have people on the ground right there that are vested in your success. Plus, they know the local recommendations that will help you or be able to serve you. And I'm all about doing business locally, because I know how much that just levels up or increases your quality of life for your community. Okay. Now, if you have a website and you want me to take a look at that, that's exactly what this does. It's a software that does it, and it gives you a result within 15 minutes. See if there's any other issues with your actual website that could be preventing or could be seeing you see in analytics why there's an issue, because maybe there is something from search engine optimization that Google is missing, so it needs that so it will actually have trust with you, and you haven't identified that yet. You might be interested in that. I've just opened those back up to people because I did have it closed for a little bit. Or you can connect with me here. You see the link at the very top. It is case sensitive. It is a bit.ly link. Click on there and connect with me on any social that you use. It brings up all of my socials. And of course, you see at the very bottom there, you see that X or Twitter and Instagram are my most active ones that I like to do actions in and do shares in, but connect with me on the one that means most to you. And I do like to model what I teach, which is anytime you've given good product, service, or solution, do share how people can leave you a review and ask for it. You don't have to leave me a review, but I would be honored if you did, and this is how you can. All right, we've covered quite a bit. Now I do want to go into Q&A, so let me know how I can help and support you. If you have any questions, oh, that's not the one I want. There we go. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat box. And remember, Heather, to reply to the email that I sent to you. So you get, you can ask me that question and I can show you about the agents, how that looks like and how that tracking looks like. But are there any other questions either that were asked in Q&A? I don't see them in the chat box. All right. Either we sufficiently answered everything or we sufficiently confused everybody. But what's good is that you'll get a copy of the recording as well as the slides and handouts. You can have that right now. And you have SCORE right there for you, your SCORE mentor, your SCORE chapter. Please reach out to them. Bill, is there anything else that you want to tell them before we finish up?
Yep. Great job as always, Maria.
Thank you.
Maria will be back with us again on the 6th on thriving at remote e-commerce. And she'll be back with us on the 20th on e-commerce excellence, unlocking revenue streams. So again, thanks everyone for being here.